Hey, welcome to this house. This is a townhouse in Brooklyn, New York. It was built in 1899, and it has a very interesting history. The architect was an African-American architect named Robert H. T.I., who was one of the first African-American architects in the country. So, at the time when this was being built, it was considered a skyscraper. Today, we have much taller buildings, but back in 1899, this was one of the tallest buildings in the area. So if you look at these photos of the time period, you will see that they built this entire building out of brown. It looks like a regular brownstone building, but if you look closer, you will see that these are not regular windows. These are very large windows. If you look down the block, you can see us. And at the time when this was built, this was considered to be the most beautiful part of Brooklyn. They said that all the streets were tree-lined. All the buildings were brownstone. It looked exactly like a European village. It was considered to be the most beautiful place to live in Brooklyn. You can see a bank. You can see a bunch of shops. This was once a very elite, wealthy neighborhood. But overall, it's still a great place to live. And now, it's just a normal neighborhood. So they had to develop new technology at the time to make these large windows possible. Before this, you could only make windows so big before they would start to sag in the middle. But they developed a new technology that allowed them to make these larger windows. Because it's just amazing how this was considered to be a skyscraper back in the day. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm trying to reach a milestone by the end of this year. And lastly, if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. Thanks for watching. If you look at it next to today's standards, it doesn't even seem that tall. But back then, this was considered to be one of the tallest buildings in Brooklyn. And so that's why this building was considered to be one of the first skyscrapers in Brooklyn. He designed over 200 buildings during his career, mostly in the New York City area. And this was one of his earlier projects. What is really unique about this building is that it is considered to be one of the first skyscrapers in Brooklyn. And what is also so unique about this building is that it was built for a very wealthy family at the time. Back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, there was a lot of growth happening in Brooklyn. This was a very popular neighborhood to live in. And so a lot of wealthy families started moving here. And they wanted mansions, but they couldn't build mansions like they had in Manhattan because the lots were much smaller. So they had to build upwards instead of outwards. So this was one of the first buildings where they tried to mimic a mansion, but just with a bunch of floors. The reason why I say it was considered a skyscraper back then is because of the way it was built. It stayed in the family that originally bought it until the 1940s. And then it was sold to a publisher. A publisher lived here until the 1970s. And then it was converted into a church. And now it's being used as a school. As you can see, the neighborhood around it has changed a lot since the time period of when this was originally built. So, as you know, this is located in Brooklyn. This is not too far from Prospect Park today. It's still a beautiful neighborhood, but it's just a little more urbanized. There's a little more traffic. There's a little more development. So if you ever walk by this place, I encourage you to take a look at it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button.